Well, it kind of is winding down to the evening now. We're coming down into a snowy spring. Look out there. Look at that snow coming down. All right, so what I did earlier today in the afternoon, I could have showed it, maybe I should have showed it, just taking this loader off. It's actually pretty easy to take off this L2501 Kubota. I call it quick attach loader. It's pretty simple. Right there, you got two pins. One there and one on the other side, and then you have, right there, your hydraulic quick coupler hoses right there. You got 4 of them. And they're all color coded so you can't screw it up. Everyone's got an individual cap right there that should be on there now, but they're a bit dusty, so I'm not even plugging them in. I'm gonna wipe everything down because that's what I'm doing. That's my goal here today. As I'm fooling around in the shop, I'm just cleaning up this loader. It's been so greasy because I'm guilty of greasing this machine relentlessly, using a lot of grease, but I never wipe off the surplus grease. Well, then it gets all balled on there and clumped up, and then it attracts dust. It just becomes ugly. But it doesn't really do any harm. It just becomes very unsightly. So I thought, I'm going to take the loader off. I've taken it off before. I think this might only be the second time to wipe it down and just clean it up a little bit. So now, I'm going to show you guys a couple things here on this loader, on things to look out for. So these loaders, they don't have nothing technical about them for loader support while being connected to the tractor. There's pretty simple engineering. You have, once the loader is on the tractor and it's in place, you just drop your pins through. As you can see, I've cleaned these pins right up. I checked them for wear, wiped them all down. They're in mint shape. So anyway, that's how it goes. All you do when it's on the tractor is, these pins are in here. These are what secure your loader to the tractor. That is it. All you do is take these pins after you support your loader on the front with the legs, and you pull a couple pins, and then you can back right away from the loader and you can take it right off. But anyway, these pins here, and this is what I emphasize when I'm working on the loader and what I concentrate on when I'm cleaning things up. Clean out these holes. These holes you guys see here for these mounting and support pins, clean them pins up and clean the bore of those pins up too. These bosses on each side that are welded in there, wipe all those out. Take a rag, take some degreaser, clean out all these holes, and that's one mounting point for that one. That's just one. The other one that's really important is right here. This is where your loader rests in the saddle, and I'll show you the saddle. So when you drive in there with your tractor and you're hooking up your loader, the weight of that loader is sitting down right on top here. And that's just your steel saddle that this is going to couple into. There is your saddle right there. So you just drive in and the weight of your loader is sitting right in there. And that chrome pin I showed you, it slides right through here. That's it. That's what holds your loader affixed to this tractor. It's a pretty simple design and it's bulletproof. But this is where you get your wear. These are a couple wear points where you get your wear too that you have to pay particular attention to. So what I do, when I'm taking the loader off, or when I'm just like today, I'm doing a little more in-depth cleaning. Like I said, if you watch my last video, I'm just doing some spring chores. And why not? It's a wet, shitty time of the year. Things are getting somewhat thawed out. It's messy, it's sloppy. So I'm going to work in the garage because the temperature is just starting to be nice. Somewhat tolerable, still cool. So anyway, when you take that loader off, and it doesn't matter what Kubota tractor you got, they're mounted somehow to the tractor. There's some sort of mounting device, some sort of pin. Something has to be pulled to get that loader off the tractor. So whatever that may be, clean it up. And then on this one here, this saddle pin down here, wipe them all down, degrease everything. And I've been using some citrus degreaser, because on this loader, where those saddles are, as you can see, you get a lot of grit sitting in there, and this is a bit rough and a bit textured because you get dirt in there, maybe a little bit of gravel spilling back, sand, topsoil. So that is going to be a bit of a wear point. So right there's the saddle, and here's the pin that goes in there. Like I said, right here, this sits in there. So clean all this stuff out. Just go over top of it with a degreaser, WD-40, wipe it clean. It doesn't matter what you can clean it with diesel fuel. But these are the areas that are going to take a lot of wear. The whole load, the weight of that loader is right in this area here, and it's going to tend to rock back and forth and want to shift side by side, because that's your superstructure, your loader there. So be extra careful on these areas here, and the pin-on area, all that stuff, clean it out. Get rid of the dirt, get rid of the old grease, if you feel like cleaning your loader up. And you can see, just looking, look at the chunks of dirt on the ground over there on the cardboard and all that. And that on the cardboard there, that is just old grease combined with sand, dirt, topsoil, anything that may have spilled back onto the loader. And those are the things you want to get rid of when you're cleaning it up. So I just thought I'd go around and show you guys what to look for on these Kubota loaders. And you can see it's even got a little bit of wear here. You can see these shiny chromed up areas. Well, I'll tell you right now, that's a telltale area where you're getting surplus friction. Something is giving you a tiny bit of surplus friction, and it's going right there, steel on steel a little bit. But another thing you should check, especially if you have a new tractor and you just brought it home and you've been using it, let's say 50 hours or whatever. If you got your loader off, or even if you don't, but always check your main frame. Go retorque these main frame bolts. And I've checked these a couple times, and throughout ownership of this tractor, more than a couple actually. And I've went on there and I've put the torque wrench on there to see where they are. I put the impact on there, and you don't have to go crazy, but just check these and just make sure they're not loose, because just remember, somebody put this loader on the tractor and it wasn't on their Kubota. These are shipped over without a loader, and these dealerships are the ones that put these loaders on. So sometimes they miss things, and through wear and tear, these bolts will come loose. So those mounting bolts for that loader, very critical that you check those, you know, even if you check them once a year, depending on how many hours you put on and how you're running your tractor. Anyway, just check them. We don't have to get too technical. But that's about it. All right, so I'm done all wiping it down. I've cleaned all these saddles out, so we'll put a little grease on them, and then I'm gonna end up putting the loader back on probably tomorrow. And what I got here is I got a pretty good molly grease here. It's what I happen to have in the gun. So that's what I'm using. So just put a few pumps in there. I just put a couple pumps in there, and that's it really. And then run that around a little bit. And just take and rub that in, man. You want to make sure it's clean. That's the main thing. You don't want any grit, any sand, any topsoil, any dirt on here. Clean it all. Because you guys know yourselves, you can feel that dirt grinding when you put that pin in there. And these pins here are exceptionally easy to remove. Even when you have the loader on the tractor, you can take these pins right out with the loader on there, and it's no problem. You can actually clean them up once in a while if you want to. And that's it. That's all you're doing. Look at that beauty. And then, look what you end up with. Right there, no metal on metal, just smooth like butter. And that's what you want. And that's what we'll do. We'll do each side and then have everything greased up. And then tomorrow, I will put that loader back on the tractor. And that will be it. There. Looks beautiful. In terms of grease, anyway. Actually, maybe we'll put that loader on right now. So we ease that tractor in there. We'll hook up them hydraulics. Whole lot easier too to hook up your bottom hydraulic hoses. And make sure that these fittings, and I've already wiped them down inside earlier, make sure that these quick connect fittings are clean. Very, very important. And they're all color coded. You got red down below, you got the red cap here, so red to red. Yellow to yellow. And make sure they're snapped in place. And once they're in there, they're in there. That's all you can do. And there you go. White. And blue, and that's it. And another thing I like to do, see these caps when they're hanging there? Try not to let these caps stay rubbing against your tractor. Well, I do anyway. Down below, rubbing against the paint. If you can spin around and get them out of the way, tuck them in somewhere, just move them out of the way so they're not rubbing on the paint of your tractor. That's all. And then double check them. And now your hydraulics are fully hooked up right there. And now we can adjust that loader up and down right here. We can adjust that loader up and down, and we'll put the pins in. Once you get that thing adjusted, those pins, theoretically, once you get that tractor and once you get that loader lined up, those pins should basically slide in there trouble-free, really. And that's all there is to mounting that loader right there. It's in its saddle down below that we greased. Okay, it's in the saddle down below that we greased by hand. I showed you guys. We grease that top sleeve, we grease the pin, that's it. That's all there is to these loaders. Yank this and set your safety stands down, unplug your hydraulics, back away from your loader. That's all you really do once you curl the bucket and you adjust it to pop it out of here, then you just back up. It's a great design, super easy to put together. So now, this one here is perfectly aligned. It's sitting in the saddle. And once this sits in the saddle and you come up firm against these welded locking rings in here, you can't go wrong. Your pin has to pretty much go in there. So we'll grease that up. I'll grease it up and then I'll get right back there. Grease that pin up with that Molly EP grease. Oh, that's good stuff. And there's no reason why that pin, like right now, should not slip right through there. And that's all there is to it. Now your loader's mounted, man. 2 pins. And that's it. And then we'll tie them safety stands up. You pull the pin on this Kubota, it's pretty simple. Slide it over, that's it. Slide it over, take it up, lock it in right here. And there's your safety stand, man. And that's all they do. Everything's pretty well engineered on these things here. You want to take it off, you pull your pin, you drop it down. That's it. Pull your pin, slide it over, take it up. That's it. And there we have a nice clean loader. Well, somewhat clean, a lot cleaner than it was. All right, man. Got those main support pins all greased up for that thing, and that's really all I wanted to do. Cleaned up the loader, cleaned the tractor. I'm going to tootle a bit more on it, and then we'll just drop that loader down, and that's just pure gravity back the tank. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I'm out in the shop fooling around, and that was successful. Looks clean, well lubed. Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you again.